Hi, I'm Carolyn, founder of Inner Freedom EFT, and I'm so glad you're here. In this week's blog, we explored those moments where it can feel like somehow we've gone backwards. Maybe an old pattern shows up, maybe we react in a way we wish we hadn't. And almost before we realize it, our mind begins telling us a story about what that moment means. So today, rather than trying to change the story, we're simply going to spend a few minutes getting to know it a little better. So, as always, I invite you to take whatever feels supportive and to leave anything that doesn't. So, before we begin, let's just take a few moments to arrive. So, if it feels comfortable, maybe placing one hand on your heart and one hand on your solar plexus. And simply allowing your breath to wash into your heart and wash out of your heart. Noticing the breath as it washes into your heart and out of your heart. And maybe the breath expands a little as it washes in and softens as it washes out. And one more slow breath in, washing in and out. Beautiful work. So, before we begin tapping, I'd like to share a small example from my own life. So, one thing I've noticed is that I've been working on being on time. So then one morning I'll realize that I'm running late again, and almost immediately I notice thoughts like, oh, I thought I was getting better at this, or maybe I'll always struggle with this. So when I tune into the most recent time that happened, I notice kind of this hot air balloon like feeling in my face, and I'd say it's about a 4 out of 10 right now. And so your experience may look completely different. Perhaps you became a little impatient when someone didn't use their turn signal. Maybe you became annoyed when someone didn't take the trash out. Or maybe you noticed that you've been lying awake at night thinking about a work meeting. Or maybe there's some small moment that just simply left you feeling discouraged. So I'd like to invite you to simply notice whether there's one small moment like that from the past week that comes to mind. And as you notice that moment, just becoming curious about whatever thoughts come up naturally. And then noticing where you begin to experience that in your body, in your physical space. And if it's helpful, you can give it a number from 0 to 10, with 10 being the highest intensity and 0 being not at all. And simply that will help us notice any shifts that might happen during our time together today. So we'll gently begin tapping on the side of the hand. And as always, you can feel free to change the words and replace with words that feel most aligned to the experience that you're having. So there's really no right or wrong way to do this. So even though part of me is carrying this moment. I'm open to simply noticing what's there. And even though this moment feels discouraging, I'm willing to meet myself with curiosity. And even though I thought and fill in whatever it is that came up when this moment happened, for these next few moments, I'm open to accepting myself and how I feel. Good. So moving to the top of the head, this small moment of discouragement. Moving to the eyebrow point, just noticing what happened. Good side of the eye. Just noticing the thoughts that came with it. You might have some release, like a yawn. Good under the eye. Just noticing the feeling under the nose. Simply allowing it to be there. Under the mouth. Just noticing the discouragement. Moving to the collarbone point. And just noticing that moment. Under the arm. It makes sense I feel this way. You can gently stop tapping. I've got some good releases there, some yawns going on. So if you have anything like that, just know that it's helping to process and release the energy that you're having. So just taking a nice deep breath in and noticing what you're feeling now. Noticing that there's nothing you need to do with it. Wow, I'm really having a lot of releasing here. Sometimes there's more energy stored there than we realize. So just notice how it may have shifted or not. And if you'd like, you can rate your number again. I would say my number is about a 2 right now. So as we continue tapping, we'll just kind of think about, the mind with a difficult moment. It quickly often begins to tell us what the moment means. So, in this next round of tapping, we're just going to become curious about that. So, tapping again on the side of the hand. Even though my mind may have a story about this moment, I'm open to listening with curiosity. Even though part of me wants to figure it all out, for now I'm simply making space. And even though I'm still feeling some, you can fill in with whatever you're feeling. It's okay to feel this way. Good. Moving to the top of the head. The story I'm telling myself. eyebrow point, this remaining feeling. Good side of the eye. The meaning that I gave it. Ooh. Good under the eye, just noticing it. Good under the nose, this remaining feeling. Good under the mouth, just allowing any yawns or other energy shifts to happen. Good. Collarbone point. This remaining discouragement, or fill in the blank with whatever feels most true for you. And under the arm, it's okay to feel this without fixing it. Good. And you can gently stop tapping, take a nice deep breath in, and simply notice any shifts that have happened, whether your number's gone up or down. Whatever is going on for you is totally fine. Of course, I seem to be releasing a lot of energy today through yawns, and that's actually really normal with EFT. We move a lot of energy yawning, although it has a negative connotation sometimes in our society. It's actually a release of energy, and it means that the body is relaxing. So just noticing whatever is going on for you and that it's totally okay. And then we'll move into our final round of tapping to gently explore a few questions. So, this isn't about finding the right answers, it's more about simply noticing what's going on, notice what may come up for us. Oh, another yawn. Okay, so even though this might still feel discouraging, I'm open to simply noticing what else might be true. And even though a part of me is still making sense of this experience, I don't have to have all the answers right now. And even though I may still be carrying some discouragement, I'm simply making a little more room for what's there. Good. Moving to the top of the head. I wonder what else might be true. Good. Moving to the eyebrow point. Even though this happened. Good. Side of the eye. What else can I notice? Good. Under the eye. Even though it felt discouraging. Good. Under the nose. I wonder what meaning I've given this moment. Good under the mouth. If this didn't mean I was back where I started. Just noticing any remaining feeling on the collarbone point. Good, under the arm. Holding space for whatever remains. Hmm, good, and you can gently stop tapping and just notice what your body feels like now. What's present for you? And for me, gosh, it really feels like it's almost like the hot air balloon turned into like a waterfall, and it's just this water washing over me. I really feel that that energy is draining out. So, wow, look at the energy that we can release when we don't even necessarily realize it's there. So, just notice what's going on for you. Any yawns are okay. Apparently, I had a lot of yawns. A lot of yawns to release today, and that's totally okay. So, whatever is going on for you is totally fine. Maybe it's shifted, maybe it's gone up, maybe it's gone down. I'm hoping that it has helped. Um, but if you're still feeling some activation, you can definitely feel free to play the video again and tap along again. So, in closing, I'd just like to invite you as you move through this coming week to consider a few questions. So, what else might be true, even if we have these difficult moments? And what else can you notice, even when things might not go as you hoped? And what else might it mean if it didn't mean that you were back where you started? Perhaps it looks like taking a deep breath before responding. Maybe it looks like asking for support. Maybe it looks like taking a few minutes to tap. And maybe it looks like reminding yourself that this is a hard time for you, and maybe treating yourself with a little more kindness. So, there really isn't one right answer. This is just an invitation to notice and become curious as you move into your week ahead, and to gently discover what healing might look like in your own life on those micro moments, on that moment to moment basis. So, thank you for spending these few minutes with me. And until next time, I'm wishing you just a little more inner freedom this week. Thank you.